He is one of the funniest comedians in not only America, not only the world, but the entire universe. You know him from Last Comic Standing. Dante with us. What's up, man?
How are you, buddy?
I am doing great. You're telling me off the air. You have been to the Bluegrass State here before. What was your impressions when you came to Kentucky?
Honestly, the nicest people I've ever met in my life. And
Really?
That is not me saying that because I'm on the radio. I've even written it on my website before. Anytime I've been to Kentucky, I've just had the best time, and people there are so genuine. I did the warm-up for Seabiscuit, and so the whole movie crew was out there, and it started snowing, and some lady went out, just some nice lady, went out and bought me gloves and brought them back like she was taking care of me like she was my mother.
See, that's the good thing, man. That's the good thing. And the good thing about living in Kentucky sometimes, too, with us is honestly, I think everybody is related at some point, so it really is a family member just bringing you something, so it's all good. Man, so what else is going on with you, man? I know Last Comic Standing had to be an awesome experience for you. Probably didn't last as long as you hoped it did, but how did that go?
You know, Last Comic Standing has been the best comedy experience of my life. It's life-changing. It's the only star maker out there for comics right now, besides maybe an HBO special, but even that may be trumped by this. It's one of those shows where I've been on TV a lot. I've done comedy 21 years, and, you know, you do this one show, and it trumps everything you've ever done. And no matter how many millions of people have seen you, this one show really puts you out there, you know, to the general public. It went from me getting recognized maybe once or twice a day to everywhere I go.
Very cool, man. It's an awesome show, and it's good to see that it's you know, it's kind of got a shelf life now. It's been around, you know, it's really starting to get a following, you know, year in and year out, and it's great to see what it does. Like you said, you know, for comics to, you know, get that exposure, you know, that they deserve. It's such a cool thing. Tell us a little bit about your past, man. I was reading your bio, man. You got an amazing past, including you know, knowing some very famous people. How'd you get started in this business?
I started stand-up when I was about 15. I was in high school. There was another kid in my class who always wanted to be a stand-up comic, too, and we ended up forming a team, Dante and the Wolf, and we got on TV right away. It was the 80s, you know. It was a comedy boom, and, you know, we were on lots of shows, and then by about 89, we split off, and I went off on my own, and, you know, like you said, I've had this amazing career. I've been able to open for, like, Richard Pryor and Milton Berle and, you know, Andrew Dice Clay, and, you know, some of the biggest names out there were people that I started with, or friends of mine, or, you know, Chris Tucker is starring in Rush Hour 3, and he's a guy that I remember watching him at the open mics, and some that I even ran. You know, he's someone I love calling a friend.
Wow.
I went to college with Jamie Foxx. It's a weird little business.
Now, what's it like, though? I mean, when you drop a name like Richard Pryor, what is it like meeting the guy, opening for the guy? I was watching some of your videos today that you had on your website from the YouTube world, where you got to give him some recognition at the BET Awards one year. What is it like, you know, meeting and knowing a guy like Richard Pryor?
Well, I got to tell you, man, I'm from a small town, so it's less dropping names than it is being so impressed by being able to see these guys. You know, it's like Richard Pryor, you grow up watching him, and you just go, wow, that's just something I'll never, you know, be able to be a part of. And then all of a sudden your life flips around, and now you're opening for him, and now you're winning all these awards on BET, and you know, thanks to him that I'm even a comic. It's just completely nuts. Like, I run some comedy clubs here in Los Angeles, and I've got Jimmy Walker playing for me next weekend, and you know, same thing. I grew up watching him on Good Times, and, you know, his stand-up. He's a great stand-up comic, and now I'm lucky enough to call him a friend of mine, and it's just a bizarro world. It really is. It's I don't know how to describe it other than I'm blessed. I'm blessed, you know, especially since these are not just celebrities or stars, but these are people that, you know, inspired me and made me who I feel like, you know, I've become because of them, and they open doors for everybody.
Now, do you think, Richard, if you could pick one comedian to watch in heaven when you get there over and over again, would it be Pryor, you think? Or do you have another one, too, that you'd have to see, you know, every time, that you could just watch over and over and over, and the act would never get old to you?
Well, you know, I'd like to say it's Richard Pryor, and it probably would be. But I've got to say there's a guy out there right now that may not be well known yet, but he's my favorite comic out of the unknown comics. His name is T-Rex. He did Def Jam this year, but more judge it. When I watch him, I'm crying. I'm laughing so hard. You know, and he could talk about a subject that you'd think most comics could talk about for about a minute, and he'll go on for 15 minutes, and you're just, I've seen it 20 times, and I'm still crying.
That's awesome
there's
stuff.
Another guy, Stephen Glickman, same way. It's like he's just such an idiot, you know, that you just go, oh my gosh, I want to be that funny.
Very cool. Now, of course, you're great at the impressions as well. Which celebrities out there do you see and you go, oh man, I love doing this guy? Which ones do you like doing the most?
You know, I'm friends with Andrew Dice Clay, and there was a girl who came out from Oklahoma, and she was looking to meet celebrities, and you could tell she was a little, young and doesn't know everybody. And one night she was outside the Comedy Store, and she goes, I just wish I could meet a celebrity. And someone said, well, Andrew Dice Clay is standing right behind you. Which he was, but it was me standing next to him, and she thought I was him. So for 2 hours, I literally was playing Andrew Dice Clay, and Dice played me. I mean, all the comics were following us like we were this traveling show, where I'm walking around turning to Dice going, hey, stupid, go get me a soda. And he's doing it, and it was just, I think I love doing it because he appreciates it so much. But I've been lucky. I've been able to do a lot of people for them, like Christopher Lloyd seen me do him, and Joe Pesci one time actually saw me do it De Niro, and he said to me, he goes, hey, when you figure out how to do me, I'll come watch you again.
I love it. And you're De Niro. Oh my goodness, that De Niro is great, man. Can I get a little Robert De Niro this morning?
You talking to me? Are you talking to me?
Let's go mess him up.
I love it. We're talking to Dante from the Last Comic Standing, also touring the world. Actually, out in L.A. now, if I can talk this morning. And you got a great website as well. What's the website for folks to find out more?
My website is comicdante.com,
yes.
Or my MySpace is myspace.com/Dante the Comic.
Yes.
And I always respond to anyone who writes to me.
Right on.
I do it personally, and I would love to actually come out there and do some shows. If anyone's coming to LA, send me an email. I'll get you into my rooms for free.
Very
but
cool.
If I come out there, I'm not super sure where I'd be. I know that Lexington, I'm not sure how far away that is from you guys.
That's not too far.
I love that room.
Very cool, very cool. We look forward to getting you back in this area. You ever do Nashville, down at any the places in Nashville, anywhere like that?
You know what? I'm setting up a comedy tour right now, and I know that Nashville is on it. I know that Lexington's on it.
Very cool.
So hopefully, maybe when I come through, I'll give you guys a call. And
we'd love to, man. Love to get you back on. Very, very cool. And of course, tonight, Last Comic Standing. What can folks? What do you know? What do you know to expect from here on out with the show? What can we expect from it?
Well, it's down to the final 5. It's all going to be performances. If people have missed me on the show, watch tonight. You'll see me on there. I'm just doing some interviews and stuff.
Very cool.
But it's down to the final 5, and they're all competing, and they're all great. And it's now time to pick up your phone and start voting for your favorites.
I love it. Dante, thanks for coming on and taking some time out this morning with all the voices going on in your head there, man. We appreciate every one of them stopping by. And get to this here. I love it. Dante from Last Comic Standing. Check it out, comicdante.com. Right? Did I get that right?
Yes, comicdante.com or MySpace Dante the Comic.
And check it out, Last Comic Standing tonight on NBC. Thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks, you guys.